Sometimes the greatest cruelties hide behind the most respectable faces. In small towns across America, we trust our neighbors, our church leaders, our community pillars. We see what we want to see, believe what we're told to believe. But every now and then, someone stands up to look closer, to question what everyone else accepts. This is a story about such a moment in Millbrook, Georgia, a town where everyone knew Walter Morrison was a good man, a church deacon, a pillar of the community. Until one winter morning when a deformed dog and a damaged veteran crossed paths, and the truth began unraveling like a chain that had been embedded so deep. No one thought to look for it. What follows is not just a tale of rescue, but of revelation. How an entire town discovered that sometimes the real monsters walk on two legs, not four. The blood trail led through fresh snow behind Ruby's diner. Dog drops every few feet like breadcrumbs in a nightmare. Nathan Hayes killed his truck engine but kept his hands on the steering wheel, knuckles white. Through the gap between three men's shoulders, he could see it, something that made his stomach twist. The creature's head was swollen to twice the size it should be, distorted like a balloon filled with water. But it was the eyes that stopped Nathan cold, German Shepherd eyes, amber and intelligent, trapped in that monstrous skull. Swing harder, Chet. Walter Morrison's voice cut through the morning air. Things too stupid to run proper. The baseball bat connected with the dumpster lid, the clang echoing off brick walls. The dog, because despite everything, it was still a dog, didn't growl. It whimpered, high-pitched, desperate, the same sound Ajax had made in Kandahar when the shrapnel tore through his ribs. Nathan's truck door slammed harder than he intended. The men turned. Walter spit tobacco juice that splattered brown on Nathan's work boots. Move along, Hayes. Town business. Doesn't look like town business. Nathan's voice came out steadier than his hands. Looks like three men beating something that can't fight back. This ain't something. Chet Williams shifted his bat to his other hand. It's that pig-headed monster been killing chickens. My chickens, Walter's prize rooster. Nathan stepped closer. The dog tried to lift its grotesque head, failed, let it drop back to the frozen ground. That's when Nathan saw it. Something embedded in the neck, so deep the swollen flesh had grown around it, metal glinting through infected skin. Jesus Christ, Nathan breathed. Don't take the Lord's name, Walter snapped. This thing's been terrorizing good folks for weeks. Killed livestock worth hundreds of dollars. We're doing what needs doing. The dog's eyes found Nathan's. No aggression there, just exhaustion. And something else. Recognition of another damaged soul. When's the last time any of you actually saw it kill anything? Nathan positioned himself between the men and the dog. Don't need to see it. Walter's hand drifted to his truck. Everyone knows a lot of things that aren't true. The morning suddenly felt colder. Walter's reach had a practiced quality Nathan recognized from cobble markets, movements that preceded violence. Boy, you've been back from the war, what? 2 years, still jumping at shadows. This here's real. Real problem needs real solution. Walter's fingers wrapped around something in his truck bed. Mason Clark's patrol car crunched into the parking lot. Lights off, but presence heavy. The deputy emerged slowly, hand resting on his holster. Got a call about a disturbance, just putting down a dangerous animal, Walter said, but his hand withdrew empty from the truck. Hayes, his interfering with public safety. Mason looked at the dog, really looked. His whistle came low and slow. What in God's name happened to its head? Disease. Walter said quickly, rabies maybe, needs putting down before it spreads. Nathan knelt slowly, non-threatening. The dog watched, but didn't move. Couldn't move. That's not disease. Look at the neck. Grace Thompson's veterinary bag hit the ground with practiced authority. No one had heard her arrive. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed loud. She knelt beside Nathan, fingers already probing the swelling with clinical precision. This isn't rabies. This is... Her face went pale. This is a chain embedded, growing into the tissue since... She pulled out a penlight, shined it into the dog's eyes. Since puppyhood, years of this, the swelling is from restricted blood flow, infection. The body trying to grow around a foreign object that won't give. That's impossible. Walter's voice cracked slightly. I'd know if someone was torturing a dog in my town. Grace's scanner beeped as she ran it over the dog's shoulder. The chip reader's screen lit up green. She read it once, twice, then looked up at Walter with an expression Nathan had seen before in Afghanistan, when they'd discovered which village elder had been selling information to both sides. You'd know, Mr. Morrison, because, according to this chip, you're the registered owner. The silence that followed could have frozen hell itself. That's not. Who that thing isn't. And Walter's face had gone from red to white. Registered 3 years ago, purebred German Shepherd, female, named. Grace looked at the screen again. Daisy, purchased from Hartwell Kennels for $3,000. The dog, Daisy, made a sound then, not a whimper, not a growl, something between, like she recognized her name from a lifetime ago, before the chain, before the swelling, before becoming the monster everyone feared. Chet's baseball bat clattered to the ground. Walter, you said... Shut up! Walter lunged forward, not for the dog, but for Grace's scanner. Mason moved faster, intercepting, his hand now fully on his weapon. Everyone calm down. Mason's voice carried authority despite his youth. Grace, you sure about that reading? She turned the screen toward him. See for yourself. Nathan watched Walter's face cycle through emotions. Anger, fear, calculation. The man who'd foreclosed on half the struggling farms in the county, who sat in the front pew every Sunday, who decided what was moral and right for Millbrook. That chip's wrong, stolen identity. Someone's setting me up. Walter's words came fast now. That thing showed up 3 weeks ago. Everyone knows that. 3 weeks ago, Grace said quietly, still examining the dog. Is when she escaped. Isn't it, Mr. Morrison? When your breeding dog got loose, Daisy tried to stand. Her legs shook, collapsed. But her eyes never left Walter, and in them, Nathan saw something that made his blood run cold. Not fear, not any more, recognition, and waiting, like she'd been waiting to be found, to be seen, to have someone finally ask the right questions. We need to get her to surgery, Grace said. Now, or she dies. Let it die, Walter snarled. It's my property. I decide. Not anymore. Nathan stood, lifting Daisy with the same care he'd carried wounded soldiers. She didn't fight. Couldn't. You decided 3 years ago when you put that chain on her. Now I'm deciding. As he carried her to Grace's van, Daisy's head against his chest, Nathan heard Ruby's voice from the diner doorway where she'd been watching everything. Walter Morrison, you got some explaining to do. But Walter was already in his truck, engine roaring to life, tires gnawing on ice as he fled. Not the action of an innocent man, not the action of a pillar of the community. Mason stood in the parking lot, radio in hand, looking between Walter's retreating truck and the van where Grace was already starting an IV in Daisy's leg. What do I do? He asked. No one in particular. Your job, Henry Whitfield said. appearing from nowhere as old men in small towns do. Finally, do your damn job. The blood trail in the snow was already being covered by fresh falling flakes. But something had been uncovered that morning that wouldn't be so easily hidden. Millbrook's perfect Christian soldier had run, and everyone had seen it. Nathan climbed into Grace's van, Daisy's labored breathing that only sound. The chain embedded in her neck had nearly killed her. But chains could be cut, wounds could heal. The question was whether Millbrook would face what else had been hidden beneath its respectable surface. As they drove toward Grace's clinic, Nathan held Daisy's massive, swollen head in his lap. Her eyes looked up at him, and he could have sworn he saw hope there. Or maybe he was just seeing his own reflection, another damaged creature waiting for someone to finally cut the chains that bound them to their past. Before we continue, please leave a like and subscribe. Let me know which city you're watching from. Now, let's get back to the story. The clinic's fluorescent lights buzzed like angry wasps. Nathan's fingers cramped from gripping the metal table edge while Grace worked. The scalpel reflected silver, then red. Hold her head steady. Grace's latex gloves squelched against infected tissue. The chain's deeper than I thought. Daisy's breathing rattled, wet like air through a broken harmonica. Her eye, the one not swollen shut, tracked Nathan's face. Trusting, he pressed his palm against her skull, felt the heat of infection through fur. There, metal clinked into the steel bowl, a bicycle chain, child-sized, each link dissolved partially into flesh. Grace irrigated the wound, pink water swirled down the drain. She needs surgery. Real surgery then. But first, Daisy's body convulsed, not a seizure, something else. She's pushing, Grace said. Nathan, she's in labor. The first puppy slid out in a rush of fluid, tiny, still. Grace rubbed it with a towel, cleared its airway. Nothing. She set it aside, checked Daisy again. How long was she out there? 3 weeks, Walter said. In this cold, carrying puppies, with that chain. Grace pulled out a second puppy. This one squirmed, mewed weakly. She wasn't hunting chickens. She was trying to survive long enough to. The clinic door slammed open. Walter Morrison filled the frame, Sheriff Burke behind him. That's my property you're operating on. Walter's breath reeked of whiskey now. $3,000 dog. Your property. Nathan stood. The property you tried to kill an hour ago. Changed my mind. Want her back, and them puppies, worth good money. Sheriff Burke, older than Mason, steadier, looked at the table, at the chain in the bowl, at the dead puppy. Mr. Morrison, what's that chain doing in that bowl? Planted evidence. They're setting me up. Grace lifted the living puppy, no bigger than Nathan's fist. This puppy needs its mother's chicken. She needs surgery. You want them to die? What I want is my property returned. Now. Daisy's eye rolled toward Walter. Her lips pulled back from her teeth, not a snarl. Something worse. Recognition. The kind Nathan had seen in Afghanistan. In soldiers who spotted the translator who'd sold them out. Sheriff Burke stepped closer to the table. Saw the wound. The infected canyon where the chain had lived. Walter, you know something about this chain? Never seen it before. Daisy's tail moved, not a wag. She was pointing it at something. Nathan followed the gesture to Grace's medical waste bin on top a collar. A small, faded collar with a brass tag. Nathan reached for it. The engraving was worn but readable. Daisy, Atro Holishambi, property of W. Morrison. And below that, a date. 3 years ago, Sheriff Burke's thumb rubbed the engraved brass. The metal caught fluorescent light with each pass. Walter, this collar's got your name on it. Walter's jaw worked sideways, tobacco bulge shifting, brown juice leaked from the corner of his mouth. Lots of collars out there. Anyone could have. Dates here, too. Burke held it closer. 3 years back, same as that chip reading. The living puppy squeaked against Grace's chest. Daisy's breathing quickened, ribs visible with each pull of air. The wound gaped where Grace had extracted the chain, edges yellow-white with dead tissue. Someone stole my old collars. Walter's words came faster. From the shed. Been meaning to report it. Nathan picked up the chain from the steel bowl. Lynx tenny, meant for securing bicycles. Rust flaked off between his fingers. This what you use on all your dogs? Morrison. Never seen that chain. Funny. Nathan held it to the light. Each link showed wear patterns where it had ground against bone. Hardware store on Main sells these. Bob Henley's place. He keeps records of every sale. Walter's hand moved to his hip. Sheriff Burke tracked the movement. What you reaching for? Nothing? Phone? Keep your hands where I can see them. Daisy's body tensed. Another contraction. Grace's hands moved between the dog's legs. Sheriff, I need to focus here. She's got another one coming. We're taking the dog. Walter stepped forward. Now. Burke blocked him with an outstretched arm. Nobody's taking anything until I understand what happened here. The third puppy emerged. Smaller than the others. Grace's face tightened. She rubbed it with a towel, cleared mucus from its mouth. No movement. She tried again. Compressions with 2 fingers on its tiny chest. The puppy stayed limp. 2 dead, 1 alive, Grace said quietly. In this cold, without proper nutrition, with that chain crushing her windpipe. Nathan's knee connected with the cabinet as he moved. Inside gauze rolls tumbled off shelves. She was out there trying to find somewhere safe to give birth, while her neck was... Shut up. Walter's face had gone purple-red. You don't know anything. I know what I see. Sheriff Burke set the collar on the counter. Grace, those medical records you mentioned, the chip registration, can you print those? Grace didn't look up from Daisy. Computers in the office, passwords on the sticky note. Burke disappeared through the doorway. Walter shifted his weight, eyes darting between exits. Nathan recognized the look. Same one insurgents had before they ran for weapons caches. Don't even think about it. You threatening me, boy? Observing. Walter's phone buzzed. He grabbed it before Burke returned. His face changed as he read. Something shifted in his expression. Calculation replacing panic. My lawyer's on his way. Jim Fredericks. You know Jim, don't you? Burke handles all the county contracts, including your department's budget. The printer whirred from the office. Burke emerged with papers. His reading glasses perched on his nose as he scanned. Says here, you brought Daisy in 2 years ago. Vet noted a collar embedded in tissue, recommended surgery. You declined. That's not. The vet made a mistake. Dr. Paulson wrote pretty detailed notes. Says you claimed she was aggressive. Said the collar was to keep her in line. Daisy's eye opened wider, fixed on Walter. Her tail lifted slightly, pointed at the window. Nathan followed her gaze. 3 trucks pulling into the parking lot, men getting out, Tom Garrett, Bill Coleman, Phil Martinez, all Walter's poker buddies, all carrying something. Back up, Nathan asked. Walter's smiles read slow. Concerned citizens heard there might be a dangerous animal that needs putting down. The clinic door opened. Tom entered first, baseball bat loose in his grip. Walter, we came soon as we got your text. No weapons in my clinic, Grace said without looking up. This is still America, Tom said. Man's got a right to protect property. What property? Burke's hand rested on his service weapon. The dog, Walter claims, isn't his. Bill Coleman laughed. Everyone knows the thing's been killing livestock. My cousin lost 6 chickens. Your cousin lives in Augusta, Nathan said, 60 miles away. Visited last month, brought his chickens. More men entered. The small clinic filled with the smell of cigarette smoke and motor oil. Daisy's breathing grew rapid. The living puppy mewled against Grace's scrubbed top. Everyone needs to leave, Grace said. This is a medical facility. She's in distress. Our taxes pay for this place, Phil Martinez said. Public property, private practice. Actually, Henry Whitfield's voice came from the doorway. The old man leaned on his walker, but his eyes were sharp. I hold the deed, inherited from my father. He built this place in 1953. The room went quiet. Henry shuffled forward, walker scraping linoleum, which means you're all trespassing, unless you've got a sick animal needs tending. We're here about the dangerous dog plant. Tom said, the one giving birth on that table looks real dangerous. Henry pulled out his phone, started recording. This'll make interesting viewing at next Sunday's service. 8 grown men threatening a dying dog and her puppies. Walter's face twisted. Turn that off. Public property. You said that means public record. Henry kept filming. Tom, that's your company logo on your shirt bill. Isn't your wife president of the church auxiliary? Might interest her to see this. One by one, the men began backing toward the door. Only Walter remained. This isn't over, Walter said. No. Sheriff Burke folded the vet records. It's not, Grace. What would have happened if that chain stayed in death, slow strangulation as she grew? The chain would have eventually crushed her trachea completely or caused sepsis from infection. So, we're talking animal cruelty, felony level. Given the duration and severity, Walter's lawyer burst through the door, Jim Fredericks, sweating to bite the cold. Nobody says another word. Walter, outside, now. You can't leave, Burke said. He's being questioned in a potential felony. He's not under arrest, no probable cause. Got a collar with his name, vet records, chip registration, circumstantial just could have sold the dog. Records could be falsified. The chip could have been transferred incorrectly. Fredericks pulled Walter toward the door. We're leaving. Daisy lifted her head slightly. A sound came from her throat. Not a whine, not a growl, something else. Nathan had heard it before, in Afghanistan. The sound a mother made calling for missing young. She was calling someone. Through the window, Nathan saw movement in Walter's truck, something in the covered bed, moving under a tarp. Burke, Nathan said quietly. The truck. But Walter was already running, not away from the clinic, toward his vehicle, toward whatever was hidden under that tarp that Daisy had somehow known was there. Walter's boot slipped on ice. His hand caught the truck's tailgate, yanked the tarp free. The cage underneath held another dog. German Shepherd, male, massive, despite visible ribs. Scars cross-hatched his muzzle. His left ear torn to ribbons. Chain collar thick as Nathan's thumb. Padlocked at the throat, Burke's hand found his radio. Dispatch, need backup at Thompson Veterinary. Now, Walter fumbled with keys. Metal, jangling. The caged dog pressed against bars, eyes locked on the clinic window where Daisy's call still echoed. Don't. Burke drew his weapon. Step away from the truck. It's my property. Walter's key found the padlock. My breeding stock. Nathan hit Walter at full sprint. They crashed into slush. Keys flew, skittered under the truck. Walter's elbow caught Nathan's jaw. Copper flooded his mouth. Get off me. Walter bucked, rolled. His fist connected with Nathan's ribs. Burke holstered his weapon and grabbed Walter's collar. Hauled him up. You're under arrest. Assault. He attacked me. After you ran toward a vehicle containing evidence. Burke snapped cuffs on. Jim, your client's looking at additional charges. Fredericks stood frozen, staring at the caged dog. "Walter, what is this?" The dog threw himself against bars. The cage rocked. Wood splintered where bolts secured it to the truck bed. His bark came out strangled through the tight chain. Grace appeared in the clinic doorway, blood on her scrubs. "Nathan, I need you, pet." Now, she's crashing. Nathan spit blood, ran. Behind him, the caged dog's howl rose, primal and desperate. Inside, Daisy convulsed on the table, foam tinged pink in her mouth. The heart monitor screamed. "Hold her head." Grace filled a syringe. She's septic. The infections spread. It's Nathan's hands bracketed Daisy's skull. Heat radiated through her skin. Her eye rolled back, showing white. "Stay with me." He leaned close to her ear. The same voice he'd used with Ajax in that last moment. "Your puppy needs you." Grace pushed the plunger. Antibiotics flooded Daisy's system. The convulsing slowed, stopped. But her breathing stayed wrong, gaps between each pull of air, the swellings closing her airway. Grace grabbed a scalpel. "I have to do a tracheotomy." The blade parted for skin, blood welled. Grace inserted a tube directly into Daisy's windpipe. Air whistled through. Daisy's chest rose properly for the first time. Through the window. Nathan watched animal control arrive. 2 officers approached Walter's truck. The caged dog backed against bars, teeth bared. "That's the father," Grace said quietly. "Has to be. Look at the puppy." She held the surviving puppy next to the window. Same massive paws, same black saddle, marking across the back. Walter was breeding them. Nathan's hands stayed on Daisy's head. "Fighting dogs. Look at the male scars. Those aren't from breeding." Sheriff Burke entered, face grim. "Found more in Morrison's truck. Fighting schedules, betting slips, photos of dogs I need you to look at. Grace, some might be missing pets. After I stabilize her." "There's more." Burke held up an evidence bag, 3 collars inside, tags still attached. "Found these under his seat." Nathan read the names through plastic. "Buddy, Max, Princess. The Hendersons' lab went missing last month," Burke said. "They put up flyers everywhere. You're saying Walter took pets. I'm saying these collars were in his truck. Draw your own conclusions." Henry shuffled closer on his walker, still recording on his phone. "Sheriff, might want to check the old Brennan property. Borders Walter's land. Been hearing sounds from there at night. Thought it was coyotes." Daisy's eye opened, focused on the window, where the male dog stood in his cage. Her tail moved. Recognition. "She knows him," Grace said. The outer door banged. Mason rushed in. "Sheriff, we got a problem. 10 more trucks pulling up. Tom Garrett spreading word that Nathan attacked Walter. They're talking about citizen's arrest." Burke checked his weapon. "How many?" "Maybe 20 guys. Some armed." Through the window, headlights filled the parking lot. Men emerged carrying rifles. Shotguns. Not a mob yet, but close. Nathan Hayes, Tash, Tom Garrett's voice boomed through a megaphone. "Come out. You assaulted a senior citizen. We're making citizen's arrest. Senior citizen." Nathan almost laughed. "Walter's 68 and built like an ox." "They don't care about facts," Burke said. "This is about choosing sickets." More trucks arrived. Nathan recognized faces. Customers from his garage, guys he'd had coffee with at Ruby's, now holding weapons, faces hard. "Send 'em out." "Burke," another voice, "or we're coming in." "This is a medical facility," Burke called back. "Anyone enters, I arrest them." "You and what army?" "There's 2 of you. 30 of us." Grace's hands stayed steady on Daisy's IV. "She can't be moved. She'll die." The living puppies squeaked. So small, so fragile, outside. Rifle bolts clicked. Nathan looked at Daisy, struggling for each breath through the tube Grace had inserted. At her puppy, blind and helpless. At the male in the cage, throwing himself against bars trying to reach his family. "I'll go out," Nathan said. "Like hell." Burke blocked the door. "They want me, not the dogs. They want blood, doesn't matter whose." Glass shattered, rocked through the window. It landed near the medical waste, Walter's collar spinning across the floor. Next one's aimed better. Tom's voice, "Send Hayes out." Daisy tried to lift her head. The tube in her throat whistled. She looked at Nathan, then at her puppy, then back at Nathan. Her paw moved, just barely, touching his hand. Trust, after everything humans had done, after the chain, the starvation, the agony, she still trusted. "Burke," Nathan said, "what happens to them if I'm arrested or shot? Don't talk like another rock." This one hit the overhead light. Fluorescent tubes exploded. Glass rained on the operating table. Grace shielded the puppy with her body. "That's it." Burke headed for the door. "Mason, call state police. Tell them officer needs assistance." "They're 40 minutes out," Mason said. "Then call everyone. Fire department, EMT, hell. Call the grocery store. Anyone who might help." Nathan pulled Glass from Daisy's fur. A shard had cut her ear. Blood mixed with the dried infection. She didn't flinch, just watched him with that steady amber eye. "Grace," Nathan said, "if something happens, nothing's happening." She prepared another syringe. Because we're not letting them win." The megaphone crackled. 5 minutes. "Burke, then we come in, with or without you." Through the broken window, cold air rushed in. The male dog's howling grew louder, chains rattling as he fought to break free, to reach Daisy, to protect his family, just like Nathan had tried to protect Ajax, and failed. But this time had to be different. "Mason," Nathan said quietly, "that dog in the truck. What's happening to him?" Mason peered out. "Animal control can't get near. Too aggressive. They're talking about tranquilizer guns." "Don't let them. He's not aggressive. He's desperate." Daisy made that sound again. The calling sound, stronger now despite the tube. The male responded, his howl shifting pitch. They were talking to each other. And Nathan suddenly understood what Daisy was trying to tell him. "Burke," he said, "the male dog. He's not the only one. Is he? Walter's got more somewhere." 3 minutes. Tom's voice cracked through the megaphone. Nathan's fingers found his phone. Ruby answered on the first ring. "Don't come here," Nathan said fast. "Whatever you hear, already here. Honey?" Her voice came from somewhere outside. "Brought friends." Through the shattered window, headlights swept across the parking lot. Ruby's catering van. Behind it, 6 more vehicles. Doors opened. Women emerged. The church auxiliary, the school board, the quilting circle. Ruby at the front, baseball bat resting on her shoulder. Tom Garrett. Ruby's voice carried without a megaphone. "You threaten my friend's clinic again. You'll never eat in my inner. This isn't about your diner, Ruby. Everything's about my dinner. When you eat 3 meals a day there." She stepped into the light. "Martha, isn't that your husband with a rifle?" A woman pushed through the man. "Bill Coleman. You put that gun down right now. Martha, go home. You go home." Threatening a veterinary clinic. "What's wrong with you?" More women crossed the parking lot. The men's line wavered. Grace's scissors cut through blood-soaked gauze. "Nathan, I need another suture kit. Cabinet behind you." Nathan pulled the drawer. Empty. Next one. Bandages fell out. Scattered. There. Suture kit. His hand shook, tearing the sterile packaging. "Steady, shut." Grace took it. Her needle pierced flesh. Daisy's breathing whistled through the tube. She's stabilizing. Gosh. But that male needs attention too. Those wounds on his face are infected. Through the window, animal control officers struggled with catch poles. The male dog spun, snapped, backed deeper into his cage. Blood ran from his mouth where he'd bitten the bars. "Let me." Sarah Mitchell appeared at the truck. The animal rescue coordinator Nathan had called earlier. When hours ago day's time meant nothing now. She opened a small case. Syringe appeared, not tranquilizer. Something else. She climbed into the truck bed, moved slow. The male pressed against the cage's back corner. Sarah just sat, began humming, low and steady. The male's ears shifted, still flat, but listening. Burke. Mayor Cole's car screeched into the lot. The mayor emerged, tie askew. "What's this about armed citizens surrounding my town's only vet clinic?" "Ask them." Burke pointed at Tom's group. "I'm asking you. Stand down, all of you." "Walter's been arrested, Peter," Tom said. "For nothing. For animal cruelty. I've seen the evidence." "What evidence?" "That psycho veteran's work." Nathan's jaw clenched. Grace touched his arm. "Focus. She needs you calm." Daisy's eye tracked to the window, to Sarah still sitting by the cage, still humming. The male had stopped throwing himself against bars. Head tilted, listening. "That's not a lullaby," Grace said. "That's Amazing Grace." The male dog stepped forward, one step, another. Sarah's hand extended through bars, palm up, waiting. His nose touched her fingers. "Got you," she whispered. The syringe moved fast. "Antibiotics, not sedative." The male jerked, but didn't bite. "You're okay. You're okay." Mason's radio crackled. "State police, 20 minutes out. Tell them to check the Brennan property," Burke said. "Henry might be right about." Walter's lawyer pushed through the crowd. "My client wants to make a statement. Your client's in custody. He has information about the dogs. All of them." Burke's hand tightened on his weapon. "What information? Immunity. First. Are you serious?" "There are 12 dogs on the Brennan property. Fighting ring. They haven't been fed in 3 days. My client will provide details in exchange for reduced charges." Daisy lurched on the table, her whole body rigid. The heart monitor spiked. She heard him, Grace said. She understood. Dogs don't. Daisy's howl cut through everything. Even with the tube in her throat, the sound carried, primal, desperate. The male in the cage answered, then faint. From somewhere distant, more howls rose. "The Brennan property's half a mile," Henry said. "If they haven't been fed, they're dying." Sarah jumped from the truck bed. "I need volunteers, now." "Nobody moves." Tom raised his rifle. "This is still." Ruby's bat connected with the rifle barrel. Not hard enough to break anything, just enough to knock it aside. "Tom, you point that at anyone again, I'll tell everyone about Vegas, including your wife." Tom's face went white. "Who's coming?" Sarah headed for her rescue van. "We need food, water, medical supplies." 3 women stepped forward, then 2 more. Martha Coleman glared at her husband. "I'm going." "Martha, shut up, Bill. 12 dogs starving while you're out here playing soldier." Nathan started to rise. Grace pushed him down. "You're needed here." "But, look." She pointed at Daisy. "She's watching you. You leave. She'll think you abandoned her too." Daisy's paw stretched toward Nathan. Pads cracked, bleeding, but reaching. Sarah's van roared to life. 3 vehicles followed. The crowd split to let them through. "Fredericks," Burke said. "Your client just confessed to running a fighting ring." "That's federal. Alleged fighting ring. He's willing to cooperate." "Cooperation doesn't erase 12 starving dogs." Through the broken window, cold wind carried new sounds. Sirens, multiple vehicles, but also something else. Barking. Not from the Brennan property. Closer. Sheriff. Mason pointed down Main Street. You seeing this? People walking, Austria, no, running, carrying carriers, crates, cages, dogs on leashes, cats in arms. What's happening? Burke asked. Social media. Ruby held up her phone. Someone live-streamed Walter's arrest, posted about the fighting ring. Every pet owner in 3 counties is bringing their animals here. Why? To check for chips, make sure their missing pets aren't. The first woman reached the clinic, elderly, carrying a photo. My Bella disappeared 2 months ago. Beagle. Please. Is she one of the 12? Then another. Young couple with a tablet showing their German Shepherd. Rico. Gone since October. And more crowding in. The small parking lot overflowed. We can't handle this, Burke said. We have to. Grace pulled off bloody gloves, replaced them. Nathan, get the portable scanner from my car. Nathan stood. Daisy's eye followed, her paw still extended. He touched it gently. I'm coming back. Outside, the crowd parted en rabat. Some recognized him. The veteran who'd stood up to Walter. Others saw blood on his shirt, stepped back. The scanner was in Grace's trunk. Nathan grabbed it, turned, found himself face to face with a man he'd never seen before. Expensive suit, city shoes slipping on ice. Nathan Hayes. Yeah. Marcus Chen. Atlanta, Journal, Constitution. Is it true Walter Morrison was breeding dogs for fighting? No comment. The community seems divided, some supporting Morrison, others. I said, no comment. Nathan pushed past. More reporters had materialized. Channeled by Channel 11, someone with a podcast mic inside the clinic. Daisy had managed to turn her head toward the door, watching for him. The living puppy nursed weakly at a bottle Grace held. She won't rest until you're here, Grace said. Nathan knelt beside the table. Daisy's tail moved once, satisfied. Mayor Cole entered. Phone pressed to his ear. State police want to set up a command post. FBI's interested too. Interstate dogfighting. Good, Burke said. Not good. They want to take over, move the dogs to Atlanta. They can't be moved. Grace checked Daisy's EV. Not in this condition. Tell that to the federal government. Through the window, Sarah's rescue van returned. She emerged carrying a small bundle. Moving fast. Too fast. She burst through the door. Grace, emergency. The bundle was another puppy. Newborn, barely breathing. Found her at Brennan's. Mother's dead. Been dead at least a day. This one was trying to nurse from Ma. She didn't finish. Didn't need to. Grace took the puppy. Tiny, maybe 3 days old. She's hypothermic. Nathan, heating pad, top drawer. Nathan found it, plugged it in. The puppy lay still on the warm surface. Chest barely moving. Is that? Mayor Cole stared. Is that a pit bull? Does it matter? Grace rubbed the puppy with a towel, trying to stimulate circulation. If Walter was breeding fighting dogs, she's 3 days old. Still, the breed. Daisy made a sound, not a howl, softer. She stretched her neck, tube and all, toward the dying puppy. No, Grace said. You can't. Daisy's paw pushed against the table, trying to rise. The monitor beeped warning. She wants to help, Nathan said. She just gave birth. She's septic. She can't. Daisy's eye fixed on Grace. Amber iris, steady, determined. Wait, Grace stared. She's producing milk. Even with the infection, she's... Nathan, help me. Together, they positioned the hypothermic puppy against Daisy's belly, next to her own surviving pup. Daisy's tongue, swollen as it was, stretched out, licked the strange puppy once. Again, the tiny pit bull stirred, mouth opened, found a nipple, began to nurse. She's accepting her Grace whispered. After everything, she still... The door slammed. Federal agents, suits and badges. Everyone stepped back. This is now a federal crime scene. The lead agent looked at Daisy, at the tube in her throat, at the puppies nursing. These dogs need to be transported to our facility. They'll die if you move them, Grace said. That's not your call. The agent pulled out paperwork. We have a warrant. Nathan stood behind him. Daisy's breathing quickened. The monitor's beeping accelerated. She knew. Somehow, she knew they'd come to take her away again. The federal agent's latex gloves snapped as he pulled them on. Dr. Thompson, step away from the animals. Agent Reeves, these dogs are critical. Step away. Now, Grace's hands stayed on Daisy's IV line. Moving her will cause the tracheotomy tube to dislodge. She'll suffocate. Not my concern. We have our own veterinarians. In Atlanta, 2 hours away, Reeves pulled out his phone. Transport. How long? Nathan heard the response through the speaker. 40 minutes. Traffic on I-80. Daisy's breathing changed. Rapid, shallow. The monitor showed her heart rate climbing. 180. 2. She's panicking, Grace said. The stress could... Everyone out except federal personnel. Reeves motioned to his team. Secure the evidence. Evidence? Nathan's voice came out wrong, tight. She's not evidence. She's property in a federal investigation. Reeves checked his tablet. Walter Morrison posted bail an hour ago. His lawyers claiming these dogs were stolen from him. Until we sort jurisdiction. The heart monitor screamed. Daisy's body went rigid, foam tinged red at her mouth. She's seizing. Grace pushed past Reeves. Nathan, hold her head. Nathan's hands bracketed Daisy's skull. Her muscles contracted in waves beneath his palms. The tube in her throat rattled with each spasm. Get back. Reeves grabbed Nathan's shoulder. Nathan shrugged him off. Touch me again. See what happens. Are you threatening a federal agent? Sheriff Burke stepped between them. Agent Reeves, we have a situation outside you need to see. Through the window, the crowd had tripled. Cars lined Main Street, news vans with satellite dishes. Someone had set up speakers. A voice boomed across the parking lot. Walter Morrison, with a microphone. Rand, neighbors. I stand before you a persecuted man. The federal government wants to steal my property. My dogs, worth thousands of dollars. Crowd murmur, some sympathetic, some angry. That man in there, Walter pointed at the clinic. Nathan Hayes, unstable veteran, attacked me. Stole my dogs. Now the feds are protecting him. That's slander, Burke said. Reeves ignored him, watching the crowd. How many people? Maybe 300. More coming. Call for backup. From where? You've got every available officer at the Brennan property. Daisy's seizure stopped. Her eye opened, found Nathan. Pupil dilated, unfocused, but aware. There. Grace injected something into the IV. Anti-seizure medication. But if she has another one... The clinic door opened, not kicked. Opened polite and slow, definite. Walter Morrison entered. Behind him, Jim Fredericks. Behind them, 6 men Nathan recognized. Town council members. Agent Reeves. Walter's voice filled the small space. I'm here to collect my property. Sir, you need to leave. Federal Statute 18242. Right to reclaim stolen property. Jim. Fredericks held up papers, signed by Judge Patterson. Mr. Morrison has the right to reclaim his animals, pending investigation. That's a state judge. This is federal. Until you formally charge my client, state law applies. Reeves checked his phone, typed something, waited. My supervisor says, your supervisor's wrong. Walter stepped toward the table. That's my $3,000 bitch. Them's my puppies. Daisy's tail tucked. Her eye tracked Walter's movement. The monitor showed her heart rate spiking again. She's terrified, Grace said. Dogs don't feel terror. Walter reached for Daisy. Nathan blocked him. Don't. Boy, you're in enough trouble. Then a little more won't matter. Walter's hand went to his hip, holster visible under his jacket. You threatening me? Everyone see that he threatened me. Sunday bells started ringing, First Baptist, then Methodist, Presbyterian, church time. Walter. Mayor Cole pushed through the crowd. What are you doing, recovering stolen property before church service? With a gun, Second Amendment, constitutional carry, Georgia law. Through the window, Nathan saw families walking toward churches. Kids in Sunday clothes, parents holding hands, normal people living normal lives. While in this clinic, I'm taking my dogs. Walter's hand settled on his pistol grip. Now, Walt. Henry's walker scraped forward. You really want to do this here with cameras rolling? 3 news crews had pushed inside, lights bright, cameras steady. Walter's face shifted Pute. The mask he wore for voters, for church, reasonable, to shut. I just want what's mine. This veteran, he's sick, needs help. I don't blame him. The war broke something in him. But he can't steal from law-abiding citizens. Nathan's hands fisted. Grace touched his arm. Don't. That's what he wants. Listen to the lady, or I'll do, Walter said. Smart advice. Emily Parker appeared in the doorway. 10 years old, church dress, hair in pigtails, her parents behind her, trying to pull her back. Mr. Morrison's lying. Every head turned. Emily, honey, let's go. Her mother reached for her. Emily stepped forward. He's lying. I saw what he did. Child's confused, Walter said. Probably coached. You hit Daisy with a pipe. When she was little, I was 8. Remember, you were behind the hardware store. You said she wouldn't stop crying. So, you hit her, then put that chain on. Never happened. I was hiding behind the dumpster, playing hide and seek with Anna. You didn't see me? Walter's face went white, then red. Lying brat. You said now you'll shut up, but she didn't. She kept crying. So you made the chain tighter. The camera swiveled to Walter. Then you said, Emily's voice shook. You said, cry all you want. No one cares about a stupid dog. Silence. Even the crowd outside had gone quiet. Walter lunged at Emily, not fast, not violent, just reaching. But his size, his anger. Daisy moved, tube in her throat, stitches pulling, monitor cables dragging. She rolled off the table, landed hard, legs buckled, but she put herself between Walter and Emily. Lips pulled back up to, not quite a snarl. A warning. Walter's hand found his pistol, drew it, pointed at Daisy's head. Everybody saw. Aggressive dog threatening a child. She's protecting the child victim. Grace said, from you. Drop the weapon. Burke and Reeves drew simultaneously. It's legal. I'm defending. Nathan stepped in front of Daisy. Shooter, you shoot through me. Move. No. Walter's finger moved to the trigger. I said, move. Walt. Henry's voice cut through. You shoot that dog in front of these cameras, in front of this child. You're done. Prison forever. It's self-defense. Against what? A dog that can barely stand. With a tube in her throat, the pistol shook in Walter's hand. Sweat ran down his face despite the cold. Mr. Morrison? Emily hadn't moved. I have something else. She pulled out a phone, hit play, video started, shaky, hidden camera angle. Walter's voice from the speaker. Stupid mutt, look at you, head getting bigger every day. Good. Uglier you are, meaner you look, more they'll pay to see you fight. On screen, young Daisy cowered as Walter tightened the chain, her yelp of pain clear. You little. Walter spun toward Emily. Three things happened. Mason stepped between them. Walter's gun swung toward Mason. The gun fired. The sound in the small clinic was deafening. Everyone ducked, screaming, chaos. When Nathan looked up, Mason was down, blood spreading from his thigh, femoral artery. Walter stood frozen, gun still raised. Daisy collapsed. The fall had torn her sutures. Blood ran from her neck. The breathing tube had partially dislodged. Whistling, gurgling. Grace dropped beside Mason. Pressure. Someone pressured the wound. Nathan had to choose. Mason bleeding out. Daisy suffocating, and he chose a Daisy. Hands repositioning the tube, clearing blood from the opening. Nathan, as Grace's voice sharp, I need you here. But Daisy's eye held him, amber going cloudy. Her paw touched his hand, weak, just like Ajax in those final moments. Through the chaos, sirens, close, multiple vehicles. But Mason's blood kept spreading. Daisy's breathing kept failing. And Walter still held the gun, looking at what he'd done, looking at the cameras, recording everything, looking at Emily, who still hadn't moved. This is your fault, Walter said to the child. All of it. The gun started to rise again. Burke's tackle sent Walter sideways. The gun discharged into the ceiling. Acoustic tiles exploded. White dust rained down. Nathan pressed both palms against Mason's thigh. Hot blood pulsed between his fingers with each heartbeat. Too fast. Too much. Tourniquet. Grace ripped her belt free above the wound. Now. Nathan wrapped the leather above the hole, pulled. Mason's scream cut short as he passed out. The blood flow slowed but didn't stop. Not enough. Grace's hands moved inside the wound. Nictus the artery, not severed but wheezing behind them. Daisy. The tube had slipped further. Each breath, a wet rattle. Grace. I know. Her fingers stayed in Mason's wound, pinching something Nathan couldn't see. If I let go, he dies. Walter writhed under Burke's knee. Get off, he attacked me. Everyone saw. Shut up. Burke's cuffs clicked. Walter Morrison, you're under arrest for attempted murder. It was an accident. Through the door, EMTs crashed in, 2 teams. They looked at Mason, at Daisy, at the blood everywhere. Who first? Him. Grace nodded at Mason. Femoral bleed. The EMTs surrounded Mason. IV lines. Pressure bandages. Grace's hands stayed in the wound as they worked around her. Nathan crawled to Daisy. The breathing tube had torn free from the surgical site. Air bubbled through blood at her throat. Her eye found his, pupil huge, black eating amber. Hey, Nathan's hand on her head. Stay with me. Her tail moved, quarter inch. That's all. The pit bull puppy she'd accepted crawled across the floor. Seeking warmth, Daisy's own puppy followed, both pressing against their mother's cooling body. Second ambulance, 3 minutes out, an EMT said, She doesn't have 3 minutes. And Nathan repositioned the tube. His finger augers slippery with blood. The tube wouldn't stay. Tissue too damaged. Sarah Mitchell dropped beside him. Let me. Gauze in her hands. Tape. Hold her head up. Nathan lifted. Daisy's weight limp. Sarah's hands worked fast, packing gauze, sealing edges. The tube steadied, but Daisy's breathing stayed wrong. Gaps. Pauses. She's failing. Sarah's voice flat. The stress, the blood loss. Don't say it, Nathan. Don't. Mason on a stretcher now. EMT's running. Grace followed, hands still crimson. The ambulance door slammed. Sirens screamed away. The second ambulance arrived. The crew looked at Daisy. One shook his head. We don't transport animals. She's evidence. Agent Reeves said, Federal case. Still an animal. Then I'll take her. Nathan gathered Daisy in his arms. She weighed nothing. How did she weigh nothing? Grace's clinic has surgical. That's a crime scene now, Reeves said. The emergency vet in Hartwell. Sarah said, 20 miles, I'll drive. Nathan carried Daisy to Sarah's van. Each step, blood dripped. His, hers. Both. The male dog in Walter's truck howled, long, mournful. He knew. Somehow he knew his mate was dying. The puppies. Nathan looked back. Ruby had them. Both tiny bodies against her chest. Go. I've got them. Sarah's van tires screamed, leaving the lot. Nathan in back. Daisy across his lap. The tube whistled with each breath. Sometimes no whistle, no breath. Nathan would shake her gently. Breathing would resume. 15 minutes, Sarah said. Maybe 12 if I. Red lights ahead. Train crossing. Arms coming down. Freight train. Slow, endless. Go around. Can't. Barriers both sides. The train crawled past. Car after car. Daisy's breathing stopped. Nathan tilted her head. Breathed into the tube. Tasted blood. Her chest rose. Fell. Rose. Stopped. Again. Breath into tube. Chest rise. Fall. Nothing. Come on. The train's last car passed. Barriers rising. Sarah floored it. The van fishtailed, straightened. Nathan kept breathing for Daisy. His vision grayed at edges, too much oxygen leaving him. The emergency clinic's lights blazed ahead. Sarah hit the horn repeatedly. Staff ran out with a gurney. GS book to chest. Tracheotomy compromised. She's been down twice. They were running. Nathan running alongside, through doors, into surgical prep. Sir, you need to wait. I'm not leaving her. Sir. Daisy's eye opened, found Nathan. Her paw lifted, reached. He caught it, held it. Okay. The vet, Dutch Coleman. No relation to Bill. You can stay until she's under. Anesthesia mask over Daisy's muzzle. The reaching paw went limp. Nathan still held it. We'll do everything we can, Dr. Coleman said. Nathan nodded, couldn't speak. They wheeled her away, through double doors, gone. The waiting room had that smell, disinfectant and fear. Nathan slumped in a plastic chair, blood dried on his hands. Mason's blood, Daisy's blood. His phone buzzed. Grace? Mason's stable, surgery now. How's Daisy? In surgery. The puppies. Ruby has them? Nathan. Grace's paws stretched. Agent Reeves is here. Says, once Daisy's stable. She's federal evidence. They're taking her to Atlanta, over my dead body. Don't say that. Walter's lawyer's here too, claiming since Walter's been arrested, the dogs need to be surrendered to his wife. She's power of attorney. Nathan stood, paced, 4 steps, turn, 4 steps, a turn. They can, unless, what? Unless Daisy doesn't survive surgery? Nathan's fist hit the wall. Knuckles split. She's surviving. I know. Just be prepared. The federal seizure order's already signed. Through the surgery door's window, Nathan saw movement, monitors, IV bags. Dr. Coleman's hands moving fast, too fast. Something was wrong. A tech rushed out. Type, match. We need blood, now. For a dog, German Shepherd, she's coding. Sarah grabbed the tech. The male at the clinic, Walter's truck. He's the same breed. Bring him. That's 20 miles. I'll go. Nathan headed for the door. Give me keys. Sarah tossed them. He won't come easy. He's terrified. He'll come. Nathan drove like Afghanistan, like under fire. No thought, just motion. The speedometer hit 90, 95. Every second, Daisy's heart stopped. Every second, further from saving her. The clinic's lot still swarmed with people. Nathan pushed through Walter's truck. The male still caged, still fighting the bars. Hey. Nathan's voice low. Hey, soldier. The dog spun, teeth bared, chain collar cutting his throat with each movement. She needs you. Nathan opened the cage door. Daisy needs you. The dog lunged, not attacking, past Nathan, hit the ground running toward Sarah's van, like he knew. No, Kishter, wait. But the dog was at the van, scratching the door. Nathan opened it. The dog jumped in, sat, waiting, 20 miles back. The dog silent, watching the road. Nathan's phone rang constantly, ignored it, just drove. At the emergency clinic, the dog followed Nathan inside. No leash, no restraint, just followed. Where's the blood donor? Here. Dr. Coleman looked at the scarred male. Jesus. What happened to him? Fighting dog. Can you use him? Get him on the table. The male didn't fight, laid down, extended his leg, like he knew. They inserted the needle. Blood flowed through tubes, dark, rich. Direct transfusion, Dr. Coleman said, faster than typing and crossing. Through the surgery window, Nathan saw Daisy on the table, chest open, Dr. Coleman's assistant pumping something manually, her heart, pumping her heart by hand. The male dog watched too, his blood flowing into tubes, into Daisy. His tail never moved. His eyes never left the window. 40 minutes. The longest 40 minutes since Afghanistan, since Ajax, since failure. The surgery doors opened. Dr. Coleman emerged, blood on her scrubs, face exhausted. She's alive. Barely. The bullet missed her heart by millimeters. But the blood loss, the infection, the stress? Will she make it? Next 12 hours will tell. If she survives the night? Can I see her? Not yet. She's critical. Any stimulation could. The male dog stood, pulled the IV from his leg, blood spotted the floor. He walked to the surgery doors, sat, faced them, waiting. He knows she's in there. Dr. Coleman said, let him closer. That's not, please. They opened the recovery room door. The male entered, slow, careful. Daisy lay on heated blankets, tubes everywhere, machines breathing for her. The male lay down beside her, cooler, not touching, just close, his nose near hers. He exhaled softly. She inhaled his breath. Her heart rate, erratic before, steadied. That's... Dr. Coleman stared at the monitors. That's impossible. Nathan's phone buzzed. Text from Grace. Federal agents coming. 30 minutes here. Walter's wife too. Get Daisy out. Doc, we have a problem. And before Coleman could answer, the clinic's front door chimed. Not federal agents. Not yet. Emily Parker. Still in her church dress. Still holding her phone. Mr. Hayes, I recorded something else. After you left. You need to see. She hit play. The video was dark, but the audio clear. Walter's voice. Burn them all. Tonight. Every dog at the Brennan property. Dead or alive. Burn them. Another voice. But Walter, some are still. I said burn them. No evidence, no case. Emily looked up. He made the call 20 minutes ago. From the police car. Nathan looked at the clock. 8:40 p.m. 23 minutes since Walter's call. The Brennan property was 15 minutes away. 12 dogs, still alive, about to burn. Nathan's truck keys were in Sarah's van. No time. He grabbed Emily's father's arm. Your car, now. What? The Brennan property. Dogs, burn it. Move. Mr. Parker's hand shook, pulling out keys. Nathan snatched them. Which one? Blue Honda. Nathan ran. Emily followed. I'm coming. No. I have the video, evidence. No time to argue. Nathan yanked the driver door open. Emily dove into the passenger seat, her father running behind. Emily, stop, tire screamed. Nathan's foot to the floor. The Honda's engine whined. 60, 70, 80 on Main Street. Call 911. Emily's fingers flew over her phone. Fire department's already at a structure fire. Old barn on Highway 9. That's the opposite direction from Brennan's. Nathan took the turn onto Creek Road sideways. Mailboxes blurred past. They were diverted, but Walter planned this. Smoke ahead, orange glow above treeline. There, Emily pointed. The Brennan property gate hung open. Nathan killed the headlights, coasted in. The barn stood 200 yards ahead. Flames licked from the hayloft. Smoke poured through gaps in the walls. Barking, screaming barks. From inside Nathan ran. Heat hit his face at 50 yards, at 20. His eyes watered. The barn door was chained shut, padlocked. In the car, tire iron. Emily sprinted back. Nathan pressed his ear to the door, dogs throwing themselves against wood, claws scraping, the barking getting hoarse, smoke getting to them. Emily returned with the tire iron. Nathan wedged it under the padlock hasp, pulled. Metal groaned, but held. Both of us. Emily's small hands joined his. They pulled together. The screws tore from aged wood. The door swung open. Smoke billowed out. Nathan dropped to his knees, crawled in, eyes burning, blind, following sound. His hand hit wire. Kennel. Dog inside going crazy. Nathan felt for the latch. Simple hook closure, opened it. German Shepherd mix burst out. Gone. Next kennel. Pit bull, cowering in corner. Nathan grabbed it. Dog bit his arm, held on. Nathan didn't let go. Carried dog out, teeth still embedded. Dropped it outside. Dog released, ran. 6 out, Emily shouted from the door. 6 more inside. Nathan went back. Deeper into the barn. Hay bales above fully engaged. Burning debris falling. A chunk hit Nathan's shoulder. Smell of burning jacket. 3 kennels along the back wall. 1 empty. 1 with a body, not moving. The 3rd puppies. 4 of them, maybe 6 weeks old. Nathan pulled his shirt off, scooped puppies into it, made a sack. The roof beam above cracked, sagging. Get out! Emily screamed. Nathan ran. Puppies squealing in the shirt. The beam crashed behind him. Wall of flame erupted, cut off from the last kennels. Outside. Nathan dumped the puppies on grass, counted dogs. 9. 3 still inside. Water. The Brennan house had a hose. Nathan found it, dragged it to the barn. Pathetic stream against the inferno. But he aimed it at the back corner, where the last dogs were. Steam exploded, visibility 0. Nathan kept the water flowing. If he could cool one section enough. There. Emily pointed. A hole burned through the wall. Low, dog-sized. A beagle crawled out, fur singed. Behind it, another dog. Boxer dragging a 3rd dog. Small terrier. Back legs not working. 11 dogs out. 1 dead inside. Sirens. Real ones now. Fire trucks. Police. Nathan dropped the hose. Legs gave out. Knees hit gravel. The dogs huddled in the field. Some injured. All terrified, but alive. Sheriff Burke's car skidded to a stop hitch. He emerged running. What happened? Emily held up her phone. I have Walter Morrison on video ordering this. That's... Burke listened, face changing. Jesus Christ. More vehicles arrived. State police, FB, Sarah's rescue van. She had crates, leashes, water bowls. Nathan, your arm. Nathan looked down. Puncture wounds from the pit bull. Blood running to his fingertips. Didn't matter. Daisy. Still alive. The male won't leave her side. Sarah wrapped his arm with a gauze. These dogs need immediate care. The one that didn't make it. Don't. You saved 11. Agent Reeves approached. Mr. Hayes, you interfered with a federal crime scene. Dogs were dying. The barn was evidence. The barn was a murder weapon. Emily stepped between them. I have everything recorded, Mr. Morrison ordering the burning. These men arriving with gasoline. She swiped through videos. Tom Garrett, Bill Coleman, Phil Martinez, all on camera. Reeves watched. His expression shifted. Send me those. Now. Burke's radio crackled. "Sheriff, you need to get to Walter Morrison's house." "Why?" "His wife just found something. Says you need to see it immediately." The drive to Morrison's property took 10 minutes. Nathan followed in the borrowed Honda, Emily beside him, quiet now, the adrenaline fading. Morrison's house blazed with lights. Mrs. Morrison on the porch. 63 years old, wheelchair-bound from a stroke 2 years back, tears streaming. "I didn't know." Her voice broke. "I swear I didn't know. Ma'am." "What?" "The basement. I never go down there. Can't with the chair. But after Walter got arrested, I had my aide check." She held up a key ring. "Found these in his desk. 23 keys, all labeled." Burke took them, read the labels. "Max, Princess, Buddy. These are names, dogs' names. The keys open freezers. In the basement." Nathan's stomach turned. He knew what they'd find. The basement door stood open. Wooden steps descended into darkness. Fluorescent lights flickered on. Concrete floor, and along one wall, chest freezers, 6 of them. Industrial size. Burke opened the first. Garbage bags. He pulled one out, heavy. Frozen solid. The shape inside unmistakable. "Don't open it here. Mrs. Morrison doesn't need to see." But she wheeled herself to the doorway, looked down. "How many... Man, you should... How many dogs did my husband kill?" Burke checked the other freezers. "All full. Maybe 40? Maybe more. 40. She repeated it, soft. 40. "We'll need forensics," Reeves said. "Match them to missing pet reports." Sarah arrived, looked in one freezer. Her face went pale. "Some of these are puppies, whole litters." And Nathan climbed the stairs, needed air. In the kitchen, Mrs. Morrison sat at the table. Photo album open. Pictures of Walter, young, smiling, holding a puppy. That was Roxy. She touched the photo. "Our first dog. Walter loved her. What happened to him?" Nathan had no answer. His phone rang. "Dr. Coleman." "Nathan, you need to come back. Now." "Daisy. She's conscious, but barely. The male's been making sounds, like he's calling her, and she's trying to respond, but the tube..." A crash in the background. "She just pulled her IV out. She's trying to get to him." "I'm coming." "There's more. The federal agents were here. They have a seizure order. But I told them she died 'cause..." "What?" "Falsified the paperwork. Said she died at 9 but they left. But if they find out, you could lose your license. Some things matter more than licenses." "But Nathan, she really is dying. Whatever goodbye you need to say." Nathan was already running to the car. The clinic was dark except for recovery room lights. Dr. Coleman met him at the door. "She's fighting the ventilator, trying to breathe on her own but can't. The male keeps calling to her." Through the window, Nathan saw them. The male standing now, nose pressed to Daisy's, making soft sounds, not whines, not barks. Something old bid to primo. Daisy's eye opened, found Nathan through the glass. "Let me in. She's too unstable. Let me in." DeColeman opened the door. Nathan knelt beside Daisy. Her paw lifted. He caught it. "Hey, warrior." Her tail moved, quarter-inch. The male looked at Nathan, then back at Daisy, made that sound again, calling, urging. Daisy's chest rose, fell, rose, stopped. The ventilator alarmed. "She's fighting it," DeColeman said, trying to breathe around it. "Take it out. She'll die. She's already dying. Let her try." Coleman's hands hesitated, then moved, disconnected the ventilator, pulled the tube. Daisy gasped, choked, gasped again. Then a breath, weak, but hers, another, stronger. The male touched his nose to hers, breathed out as she breathed in, trading air, trading life. That's impossible, Coleman whispered. Daisy's eye found Nathan again. In it, he saw something, not goodbye, something else. Behind them. The door opened. Walter Morrison's wife, in her wheelchair, holding something, a folder. I found this, Walter's files. She held it out. You need to see what's inside. Nathan took it, opened it. Inside, photographs, dogs fighting, blood, crowds cheering, and in every photo, faces. Clear faces, recognizable faces. Mayor Cole, Judge Patterson, 6 city council members, the chief of police from the next county, and in the corner of one photo, partially visible, Agent Reeves. Nathan's thumb traced Agent Reeves' face in the photograph. Same man who'd tried to seize Daisy. Same federal badge. Different context money. Changing hands beside a blood-soaked pit. There's more. Mrs. Morrison pulled another folder from her bag. Bank records, dates, amounts, transfers to judges, police, state officials. Dr. Coleman locked the clinic door. They'll come for these. Already copied them. Emily held up her phone. Uploaded to cloud storage. 3 accounts. Through the recovery room window, Daisy's chest rose, fell. The male still beside her, matching her breathing rhythm. Burke answered his phone on the first ring. Nathan heard him through the speaker. Morrison's lawyer's here. Says, Walter wants to make a deal. Tell him to wait. Nathan photographed each document. We're coming. Who's we? Me, Emily, and Mrs. Morrison, and evidence that'll bury half the county. Silence. Then, come in the back entrance. Mrs. Morrison's hand shook on her wheelchair controls. 43 years married. 43 years of lies. The police station's rear door stood open. Mason's desk empty, still in surgery. Burke waited in the interrogation viewing room. Through one-way glass, Walter sat with Fredericks. He's been talking for an hour, Burke said. Names, dates, everything, trying to save himself. Show him these. Nathan handed over the photographs. Burke studied them. His face changed. Christ, Reeves is in this. And Mayor Cole, Judge Patterson. Look at the dates on those transfers. Every month for 3 years. Burke took the photos into interrogation. Nathan watched through the glass as Walter's expression shifted. Confidence to confusion to fear. That's not. Those are doctored. Your wife found them, Walter, in your safe. Walter's head swiveled. Saw his wife through the glass, her face stone. Margaret wouldn't. She wheeled herself into the room. 43 years. Walter, I made excuses. The bruises on dogs you said were accidents. The sounds from the basement. The men coming at night. She pulled out more papers. Veterinary records. Every dog you claimed ran away. You had them euthanized. Healthy dogs killed because they wouldn't fight. You don't understand business, Roxy. Walter stopped. Our first dog. You said she got hit by a car. Margaret's voice stayed level. But I found the receipt. Euthanasia. March 15th. None. She was 2 years old. She bit someone. She bit you. Once. After you kicked her. State police arrived at midnight. Not local. From Atlanta. Clean badges. They arrested Walter again. Federal charges now. Interstate racketeering, animal fighting, money laundering. By dawn, Mayor Cole was in custody. Judge Patterson, Tom Garrett, Bill Coleman, Phil Martinez. Agent Reeves tried to run. Caught at the Tennessee border. Emily's videos went viral before breakfast. 3 million views. National news picked it up. Small town's dark secret. The veteran who exposed the fighting ring. Hero dog survives torture. Nathan didn't watch. He sat beside Daisy, her breathing stronger each hour. The male someone had started calling him Atlas never left her side. Day 3. Daisy's eye opened fully. Clear, focused. She tried to stand, fell. Atlas caught her weight, held her up. Together, they managed 3 steps. Day 7. The breathing tube came out. The wound had healed enough. Daisy's first sound was a whimper, not pain, recognition. She saw the puppies Ruby brought, her own surviving puppy Hope and the pit bull she'd adopted. Both had survived on formula, but they needed her. She cleaned them. Weak licks, but maternal. Atlas helped, grooming the puppies when Daisy tired. Week 3. Walter's trial began. Federal court. He got 15 years, consecutive sentences. The ring members got 5 to 10 each. Reeves got 20 corruption charges added weight. Week 8. Daisy walked outside for the first time. Slow, unsteady. But her head, the swelling was gone. The infection cleared. She looked like what she'd always been, a beautiful German shepherd. Month 6, Christmas Eve. Snow fell light on Millbrook. The church bells rang different now, warmer somehow. Nathan adjusted Daisy's service vest. She sat patient, Atlas beside her. Both certified therapy dogs now. Hope played in the snow, chasing Ruby's grandson. Inside the church, people turned to look. Some remembered that Sunday. The blood, the fear. Now they saw transformation. Daisy walked the aisle, no limp. Head high. Children reached out. She paused. Let them touch. Gentle. One boy whispered, "I'm sorry." Daisy licked his hand. Pastor Williams, the new pastor. The old one had resigned after his name appeared in Walter's files, spoke about redemption, about courage, about truth. Nathan didn't listen to the words. He watched Daisy, watched her breathe easy, watched her tail wag when the choiros sang, watched Atlas lean against her, protective and proud, after service. Henry approached with his walker. "Heard you bought the Brennan property and Walter's land, foreclosure sale, building something, sanctuary, for dogs like Daisy, like Atlas. Need help. Always." Outside. Snow continued falling. Daisy looked up, caught flakes on her tongue, puppy-like, joyful. Emily ran up, phone extended. "Want more video for the documentary?" "No more videos. Just Daisy. Plan, happy. People need to see." Nathan nodded. Emily filmed Daisy and Atlas running through snow, Hope chasing them. 3 dogs who should have died, 3 dogs who survived. The bells rang midnight. Christmas Day. Daisy returned to Nathan, sat at his feet, looked up. In her amber eyes, he saw peace. Finally, his hand found her head. Her tail wagged. Home. They were home. Connecting hearts. I told you this story because I needed you to understand something. The real monsters rarely look like monsters. They sit in church pews, run for office, smile at community gatherings. Walter Morrison taught me that, but Daisy taught me something greater, that even the most broken among us can choose trust over fear. Every scar on her body was a testament to human cruelty. Yet she still protected Emily, still accepted those orphan puppies, still let children pet her after everything. That's not forgiveness. It's something deeper. It's the radical act of refusing to let cruelty define your capacity to love. If a tortured dog can choose that, what excuse do we have? Disclaimer: this story is a work of fiction, inspired by documented cases of animal rescue, created solely for entertainment purposes. This narrative does not condone, encourage, or promote any form of violence, animal cruelty, or harmful behavior. All characters and events are products of the author's imagination. Any resemblance to real persons, living or dead, or actual events is purely coincidental. The story aims to raise awareness about animal welfare while providing hope and promoting compassion. If you suspect animal abuse in your community, please contact local authorities or animal welfare organizations immediately.